2011 Chevy Equinox. Dude, you didn't tell me your mom was picking us up. First off, yes. This is paying homage to regular car reviews. And before you call me a copycat, let me explain. I love RCR and everything they do. Mr. Regular and Roman are my role models, and I implore you to go watch their channel and subscribe if you aren't already. They make content that I can only hope to strive for at this point. And if it happens to be seen by either Regular or Roman, I hope you enjoy it, and my 18-year-old perspective on the automotive community. Chevy Equinox. The car for commuting to your job at the local flea market to sell rugs that are too shaggy and hand-sewn quilts that you bought wholesale from AliExpress. This car is nothing out of the ordinary in Michigan. They blend right in with every other 2010s vehicle, just like everywhere else in the Rust Belt. We use road salt because if you own a car, you best not give a shit about it. Or own a winter beater, because in 10 years that thing is going to be gone, just like that hot girl showing some interest in your nerdy ass. You can seriously pick up a good 70s truck from out west for about $2,000, and it'll be worth upwards of $6,000 here, just because they don't exist. Taken by rust. So, my personal gripes about salt aside, this car is interesting because of how boring it is. A good example of this is the 2.4-liter inline-4, making an impressive 182 horsepower and 172 pound-feet of torque. Or you could have got the optional V6 and got 446 horsepower and 222 pound-feet of torque. With these numbers, you'd think it might be interesting, but it's going to be choked by the automatic transmission, was my initial thought. In this example of the vehicle, the fake manual mode button things that are on the lever, that everybody's been putting on for the last 10 years, that are broken. So this might not help, but it would have been interesting to see if it did anything really besides just show its slushbox nature. When I got in the car, I predicted, just like every other thing that GM makes, that it will stay as low in the rev range as possible. Because this car must be ready for baby boomers. Coming from K cars and inline sixes, the boomer mind is high revs equal blow up engine. And GM knows this. So, the smart move is to program your ECU to tell the transmission to never, under any circumstances, unless expressly ordered and then filed through the Secretary of State, to give you 3,000 RPM. And this hurts an engine that has 16 valves and variable valve timing. It just doesn't allow it to get into power. And this is exactly what I expected. However, I was wrong. This engine revs, and the transmission is just so ready to put you in the power band. This car scoots quite well. And so, since the engine revs so well, and it's fun to drive in some ways, you get the age-old story of, if you give a high schooler a vehicle. If you give a high schooler a vehicle, they won't beat the shit out.
Oh, it's holding that cord now. What the heck?
They beat the shit out of it, stuff's gonna break. If things break, they're gonna ask you to fix it. If you fix it, repeat from step 1 until total engine failure. Speaking of engine failure, the owner let me know that even after running GM Dexos rated oil with the recommended viscosity of 5W30, he even went with Royal Purple, which was just so odd to me. But he burns a core after every 930 miles. I thought this was insane. It's like a European vehicle more than an American. But then again, it's a 4-cylinder car and it's kind of taxed because of how heavy the vehicle is. Still, it doesn't make sense that it burns so much oil to me. Oh yeah, one more thing. It has the optional all-wheel drive, so yeah, that's one more thing for our high school dumbasses to break.
Alright, go ahead. This is where we hide the weed.